Well, I got the first stage in orbit, the engine stage, which is the foremost part, except for the shield, the thermal heat shield. What I just remembered is yesterday when I got home from work.
You've got mail.
Oh, well, thank you for telling me. Yesterday when I got home from work, I forgot to. Oh, sorry. I redesigned the fuel tank module, so I might as well show you that. Mothership fuel cell D we are on. It's a bit heavier, lots of monopropellant. I'm not sure why I always have them so elevated. Lots of solid rocket boosters. That keeps my thrust to weight ratio fairly, well, very high as I'm ascending. Well, here we are. 12 full-size RCS tanks, monopropellant tanks, 6 half tanks, and 1 full tank. So that gives us a total of 4, the equivalent of 4 orange tanks. Thruster blocks and linear thrusters. Well, you know why what that's for, so I might want to line those up a little tiny bit better. I had to dock one a little while ago, and it was, oh, it's going to be balanced enough. We're actually changing docking ports. We're going to throw that's the 1.25. We're going to use these. The common berthing mechanism. Now, we might have a little bit of trouble. No, we won't have any trouble. Yeah, that's what we're just gonna throw it together. Should we use the big nose cone or adapter? Yeah, why not? Well, there we go. That's as simple as that. It doesn't look as complicated, but it's one part. Well, I mean, plus strutting. We're gonna get some struts in there. This one already automatically strutted itself on the bottom. I'm very happy with that. Did the top? Yes, the top automatically strutted itself as well. One other thing I noticed while I was doing my docking and cross-feed testing is I need to add some struts on these tanks, and they're installed in 6-way symmetry, so I just need to add struts in one location. I wonder if I'll try it in the middle and we'll see if that works. Change that to 5%, or 5 degrees rather. Right there. To there. Yeah, that looks decent enough. It's a little bit shifty. Never mind. We'll try that again. See if we can get that as close as possible. Yeah, that'll do. You'll only be able to notice it slightly from the outside. We'll rename this to the E model. I don't know why we're using letters on this one, and revision to the second doesn't, or the 2-tier revision numbers on the other one. But that's just the way it is. We'll set some action groups for the docking clamps. I always add undock and decouple to both sides of a joint from an ascent stage, just because you never know if it's going to undock one side and then redock it instantly. It doesn't do that very often, but it happens and it's irritating. So Well, let's just get this into orbit. I'm going to let MechJeb do this one. I'm going to Alt-Tab out and read that email. So we'll be back in orbit. Well, here we are. It's just about to circularize our orbit. We've had to do this 10 times because I kept getting little things breaking off or exploding. But we're gonna get it this time. I had to add extra supports to the fuel tanks just to take the stress away from the orange tank in the middle. Did I turn off crossfeed? No, I did not. Oh, that means I just accidentally burned a bunch of fuel from up front when I wasn't supposed to. Okay, well, when we get to our orbit, we'll steal that fuel back. We can't transfer it right now because it will change our balance. I added some lights on this just to make docking easier and to light up, well, the mothership or the ferry. Now we're above the atmosphere, so there's no reason we can't be going completely horizontal already. It brings our periapsis up faster by pointing a little bit lower than the horizon. We spend more fuel on the periapsis now rather than the apoapsis. Just have to be careful not to swing off course because that will change our inclination. Oh. Okay, well, we got that section to its the first fuel section to its 300-kilometer orbit. This one we are actually doing a little different. We took off the RCS tanks. I don't think I'm going to put those lights back on. I re-added the quantum struts and just gave them an action group. So we don't need 24 large. Well, we already have a couple of other cans, but we don't need 24 large RCS tanks. There's no way we'll need that much. We can leave this in orbit around Laythe for months and months and never need to refuel it. Not even thinking about how much monopropellant we'll be using. Almost none. It's just going to be for refueling small craft. So, yeah, I'm not going to show this one either. We'll just dock it up. We'll park this at 310 kilometers. And then we'll launch our tractor to tow them all to the ferry at 500 kilometers.